You are live. Okay. Let me just go ahead and start the recording on Zoom and we can get the ball rolling here. Cool. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. I know I haven't done one in quite some time. This is the Built from Pain podcast. And today we're going to be speaking about bringing back the hardworking men. And this topic was inspired by, I actually just got finished meeting up with a client not too long ago. And it was quite interesting because one of the main things that we were talking about, and again, this is just real estate, right? However, he owns an auto body shop, right? Good man, good hardworking man, had a lot of people that were working for him. The facility was about 10,000 square feet. So it was pretty prestige place that I was at, right? And he goes and tells me, he's like, you know what? He was an expired. He was on the market previously. He's like, man, it's just that when it comes to the commission and paying another agent, I was paying that last agent $50,000, right? And they weren't able to get the job done. And then he started talking about like how he would hustle, for his money, and he would be able to create the opportunities that he wanted to create just based on not just the intention that he was putting out into the world, but what he would be carrying out with his actions and the steps that he would be taking forth to be sure that he made what he needed to make to be able to meet his goals, right? So he was just talking about, waking up early in the morning, all of the things that you guys see me do. I post this shit regularly on Instagram. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, it's Real Estate Jose. You guys could just follow me whenever you guys want. But it's like every single day, right? When you're going out and you're looking at your life, you have to pay attention to what's happening in the world today. Let's think about COVID, for example, right? And millions of kids not getting the education that they were going to get if this whole COVID thing wasn't in the plans. We could look at that and how school got canceled. Okay, now let's take a deeper look at that. Okay, even if school didn't get canceled, myself as a real estate agent, okay, I don't have kids at the moment. However, I can speak about the specific topic because it's going to make sense. Hear me out. So you're busy doing your work. I'm talking about the average individual that is either working a 9 to 5 or running their own business, right? They're working 9 to 5. They're running their own business. They're going out and they're, making a killing for his family or for the kid to be able to be raised properly, right? As a parent should. And you're leaving your kid to go off to, let's say you're going to public school, right? Where the information is being controlled. What do I mean by this? Well, obviously, not everybody that goes to school ends up becoming something out of themselves where they can just benefit the masses. Usually, it's 99% of the kids that graduate from school, college, or wherever, they're not going to be as successful as the 1%. Why is that? Self-education, actually. I would definitely say that self-education was one of the main things that has taught me and has made me the man that I am today. What man? What man are you talking about? Jose, we don't know you. Who are you? Okay, I run a 6-figure real estate business, two over 6-figure real estate business now, right? And besides that, I have enough income to provide for myself and provide for anybody that I want to take care of, like my girlfriend, for example, right? So why should you settle as an individual to just know just enough, to make just enough, to live a life that's just enough? And that's what we're seeing in today. Everybody just wants to make enough, just enough. And it's not like that. Just enough is not enough these days. We're in 2021 and we live in one of the most competitive countries in the fucking world. What do I mean by competitive? Any single business that you get into, you're going to have a competitor, right? To make a brand new invention is going to be, hey, you could do it. You have to be creative. However, a lot of the things, a lot of people already thought of, right? So if you're getting in an industry, whether it's real estate, whether it's car sales, whether it's a fitness industry, whatever it is, we all know that we have to fucking work hard. Now, aside from the job, that's just one thing, one compartment of your life. What about your mind? What about your spiritual work? What about your personal work? What are you doing on a daily basis to not just keep yourself sane, but also connect with the higher forces that will drive different and inspiring thoughts that you can manifest into the world that will elevate your life? What are you teaching your kids if you have kids? Besides them going to school, when they come back, what are you as a parent educating your kid about? Or are you just being a lazy individual that is just letting that being taken care of by somebody else? No, we have to take responsibility for every single aspect of our lives. How do you know that our kids are getting the education that they need, or the information, better put, the information that is valid and that they need to hear and that is the truth, so that they can go out into the world and prosper? I didn't learn shit about spirituality when I was in school. Yet when anybody asks me, "Hey, how are you successful in whatever you do?" it's because of my spirituality. Every single day I meditate. Every single day for minimum 15 minutes. 30 minutes, an hour, sometimes, yeah. I would say 3 to 4 times a week for sure. Other than that, what else do I do? My workout is a fucking meditation, right? We're waking up anywhere from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. They didn't teach me that shit in school. They didn't teach me anything about mindset. They didn't teach me anything about male and female dynamic and how male and female go about mating and the process of courtship and things like that. They didn't teach me any of that shit. My parents didn't teach me any of that shit. Why? Because they didn't know. Now, I'm not going to blame them and say, "Oh, you guys didn't do what you were supposed to do." No, I'm an adult, so it's my responsibility to take charge and do what I have to do. It's my responsibility. Once you're over the age of 18, you're on your own. Even if you live under your parents' roof, by the time you're 18, you're still on your own. Guess why? Because you're going to want to do certain things that if you're living under somebody else's roof, you're not going to be able to do. So you as a man have to be able to branch out on your own. And especially if you're going to be doing something where it's entrepreneurial or something that's on your own, that you can make a killing regarding money and also develop certain skills that can benefit your life as a whole, you're going to have to do some of these work. It's not just going to be about, "Oh, I'm just going to follow this plan A to Z and I'm just magically going to be there." Nobody's going to give you that fucking plan. You have to craft that fucking plan. And how do you craft the plan? Well, by hanging out with specific individuals that can inspire you to think differently. Because when we think differently and when we elevate our perspective, now we're operating from a higher point of view. And everybody wants to be like, "Oh, I want to get to my highest self," right? You're not getting to your highest self. You are your highest self. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to think about your highest self, right? So we have to start making these decisions now and start to think to ourselves, "Hey, what is it that I am leaving out of the table? How much gas am I leaving in the tank? Am I underperforming in my life? What are some of the things that I don't know that I want to know or that would be important for me to know," right? Everybody would love to know about health when they have a fucking disease or when they have a specific sickness that they want to get over. However, a lot of people don't, so they end up leaving it to a specific doctor that may not know the things that he needs to know to be able to cure you. Maybe that doctor did get his doctor's degree, but he only got educated on medicine and he only knows how to prescribe you certain things. Now, what are you going to do? He'll prescribe you something that has a side effect and you end up getting another fucking sickness and then you're back at the hospital again, right? So we have to be conscious of these things. Same thing with the information that we were taught in school. How valid is this information, right? Nothing against teachers. They're just doing their jobs. And I'm sure they care about the kids. However, where did they get that information from? It's not about personally attacking these people. It's not. These are good, hardworking fucking people that have a family, that they're doing their job to feed their family. Everybody's playing a part in the community, as they should, right? You should be able to go to work and leave your kids to go off to school and feel completely fine about the things that he's learning have them back, and you don't need to teach him anything. Well, obviously, you're always going to have to teach him everything or anything because he's your son or your daughter. However, truth is, we are responsible for our children, period. We're responsible for our peers. We're responsible for the information that is around us. That's why everything is information. Your environment is information. Just ask yourself about the information that you've been feeding your mind and look at your environment, and you'll see a very, very big similarity as to the information that you're feeding yourself and the information that your environment is contributing into the world. So if you're not successful or you're not in a specific place that you would like to be, look at the information that you're allowing in your head. Look at the information that other people around you are contributing into the world and ask yourself, is this information going to get me where I want to go or not? Is this information going to help me elevate my life, help me elevate the life of others that are around me that I want to inspire or not? So the reason why I named this Bring Back the Hardworking Man, because it's the hardworking man that takes it upon themselves, the Renaissance man, to be able to look at certain situations, regardless of whatever category it is, health, spirituality, mindset, communication, relationships, anything that you could possibly think of. Take that responsibility into their own hands and says, hey, this is my life. And if this is my life, then I'm going to make the best out of my life. Right? That's pretty obvious. However, everybody seems to leave it to the professionals. Meanwhile, there are a lot of people that know what they're doing. Okay. I'm not knocking down their hustle, right? There's a lot of people that are doing and contributing a lot of great things into the world. However, compared to the amount of people that are contributing bullshit to the world and wrong information and limiting beliefs and telling you that you can't do certain things or you can't talk a certain way because you're not a specific label, or you don't have the authority to ask a question because you're not in a specific group, fuck that shit. You take it into your own hands and says, okay, what is it that I want to educate myself in? Health, let me pick out a fucking book, or let me just do some research on the things that are important to me, and let me give my life purpose. Because that's what it's about. It's about giving your life purpose. Okay? I just want to give a huge shout out to the Built From Pain movement. I don't think I did it in the beginning, because these are gentlemen that are giving their life purpose. These are people that took the extra step to give their life purpose by making the investment in themselves to say, I'm going to commit myself. Regardless of who's in this fucking group, I'm going to commit myself to give 100% and do what I have to do to be the individual that I want to be. And a lot of the times, you just have to fucking show up, regardless of what the thoughts are saying, and then take the steps necessary once you're there. However, don't start articulating stories in your head before you even got to the damn fucking place. And that's what a lot of people do. They're always talking to themselves in their head, yet they never actually give their experience a chance, their real life experience a chance. Everything else is all fucking mental, and your mind can fuck you up. Your mind is a tool for you to use, not for your mind to use you as a tool. So you have to adapt these concepts, because it sounds nice, everything that I'm saying. However, at the end of the day, it only means anything if you're applying it or not. And if you're not applying it, then take a look at your life and you tell me how your life is. And not just one area. I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about, how are your relationships? How are your friends? How are your family members? How do people treat you? How do you want to be treated? Who are you? Right? Who am I? And then start painting and designing your life exactly by who you are. And start to carry yourself with the image that you know that you want to carry out and contribute to the world, because everything is fucking image. Everything is image. The way that you present yourself, the way that you communicate, everything is image. Everything. So Again, the main reason why we need to bring back hardworking men is because hardworking men are the men that make society safe. Why? Because hardworking men are most likely the men that are going to take everything into consideration, ask questions, educate the community, educate themselves, instead of being ignorant and letting that being dictated by somebody else that may or may not have your best interest in mind. Okay? So we need to bring back the hardworking men, because I'm not just talking about hands-on. I'm not just talking about, a construction worker that's fucking working 12 hours. That's not what I mean by hardworking men. By hardworking men, I mean a man that fucking takes the world into his fucking hands and says, yep, I'm responsible for this shit. I'm responsible for this shit. And you know what's happening with men these days? They're bitching and complaining about, there's so much expected of me because I'm a man. They're becoming feminine. And women do not want to be around people like that or men like that. And it's dangerous for our kids, because what are our kids learning? Our kids learning that it's okay to be lazy. Our kids learning is that it's okay to depend on somebody else to have good intentions for you. And it's not okay to do those things. It's not. You as an individual have to be able to critically think and put things into perspective so that you as yourself and as an individual can come up with your own choices and opinions. If you're a man and you can't lead, you're not a very fucking good man. It's just, you have to be able to fucking lead as a man. You just have to. You may have good intentions. You may have a good heart. You may be kind. You may be nice. That's not what I'm talking about. Don't take it out of context. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, are you safe to be around? Because a leader, a man that can lead, is safe to be around. A man that can make decisions is safe to be around. A man that can take things out of their habitat, dissect them, and come up with a conclusion that would make sense and that would be logical is safe to be around. A man that is emotional is not safe to be around. Why? Because that could be fucking dangerous. You can be persuaded easily. You can be getting caught off guard very easily versus taking things for what they are and saying, okay, let me ask a fucking question. Do masks work or not? Does social distancing work or not? And if we look at the science, because everybody's talking about follow the science, half of these things do not make sense. And I'm not being political here. I'm giving you guys scientific data that you guys can look up on your own. This has nothing to do with politics. Everybody wants to put it into politics because everybody wants to be right. Everybody doesn't want to know what the right thing is. I shouldn't say everybody. I should say the masses. The masses just wants to do whatever the fuck they tell them to do and not question anything, right? And then anytime that you would go against that because you have a specific point that makes sense scientifically, they try to attack you as a person. And that's not good. That's emotional. Logical is the person that's presenting the question. Logical is the person that wants to know what the truth is. Emotional is the person that doesn't want to know what the truth is and just wants to feel good about making all the wrong choices. That's emotional. They just want to eat more fucking candy because it tastes good, but does never, ever concern themselves about what that candy is doing to their bodies. Right? We are entitled to make any decisions that we want as individuals. However, make it with a conscious mind, make it with a conscious heart, and think these things through versus jumping down a fucking hole that you don't know what lies under there, right? Obviously, as a human being, we're going to have to take risks. However, when we take these risks, we fucking ask questions and we take calculated risks that make sense. So this all has to do with bringing back the hardworking men. How? Because the hardworking men are the men that built this fucking community, the men that built the world. Those are the hardworking men. They're smart. They can think things through. They can educate the community versus just giving up and saying, man, why do I have to do this? Just because I'm a man, everything. No, you have to do this because it is your obligation to nature, period. And everybody has a contribution to be able to put out into the universe. Whether you're a man or a woman, you have to be able to contribute somehow in some way. So what is what I'm talking about? Eradicating the laziness. Eradicating the limiting beliefs of not being able to question. I'm on YouTube right now, and I'm probably going to get censored because I've said a bunch of shit that most likely does not go against or does not go with their narrative or their agenda, whatever that is, right? I've seen many people get, blocked or banned because of certain things like that. Cool. We have to bring back freedom of speech. We have to bring back truth. We have to bring back what makes a person an adult. What? The freedom to decide whatever it is that they want. Whether you're presenting to them a product, what are the cons and what are the what are the cons and what are the pros? What are the pros and what are the cons? Versus just telling them, oh, this is good for you, naming all of the benefits and leaving out all the things that are not benefits, all the things that are detrimental. No, you have to be able to be honest with the people. And that's a big thing that we're missing. Honesty. What is the good and the bad in the situations that you make? Because in every situation that you make, there's a good and there's a bad. Every single one. It's a law of polarity. You can't escape it. I can't escape it. Nothing can escape it. Law of polarity. There's always going to be one side of the coin that's going to say one thing and the other side of the coin is going to say the other thing. But you know what? It's the same fucking coin, which means what? That we can choose. And we haven't been choosing. We probably have. Okay, I'm going to restate that. We have. However, the people that are selling you most of the foods that we consume, are they telling us what they're putting in those foods? What kind of chemicals they're putting in the fragrances? You can look it up, over 3,000 chemicals in fragrances. What's going on? We're being lied to. And that's why now, more than ever, it's time to bring back the hardworking men. It just is, okay? Enough of the lies, enough of the bullshit. We have to stand up as a whole and make things right. Because if we don't, it's only going to get worse. And if it gets worse, you don't have to worry about your business because you're not going to have freedom to run anything. They take your ability to be able to think. They take your ability to be able to live. Because what? Because now they're thinking for you. And now they're living your life. You're making all the choices that they want you to make. Subconsciously, without you knowing it. How? The shit that you watch on TV. The shit that you listen to. The shit they put in your food. To fog up your fucking mind. To keep you down, low energy. Right? There's so many other things. So many other things. So if there's one thing that I can point out into the world, is to hold yourself accountable with your life and hold yourself accountable with the people that are around you. How do you do that? By communicating what you know is right. By asking questions. By wanting to know more. Because by staying shut, you're being part of the problem. You are. So I'll leave it off with that, guys, okay? This is a great episode. I'm glad to be fucking back, okay? I'm going to be going live Tuesdays and Thursdays, anywhere from, 4 p.m. to maybe 6 p.m., maybe 7 p.m., around that time frame, right? And I just wanted to come back because, man, I've been giving a lot of value to the people in the Built from Pain movement. And it's only right that the message gets heard. And that the message multiplies, because we all have to work together, because this world depends on us, and it's up to us to change these things. Okay. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is another episode of the Built from Pain podcast. I'm Jose Rodriguez. I am your host. Shout out to the REJ team, and shout out to now I'm with HomeSmart, right? Real estate, homes and estates. If you guys need any real estate needs, you guys already know where to find me. Real Estate Jose is my Instagram. And if you have any questions about my personal mentorship program, which is the Built from Pain movement, feel free to DM me on Instagram. Feel free to comment down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, like it, share it, comment down below. We want to get the message across. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace out, guys. Catch you guys on the next one. And stream. There we go.